Lawyers for a wealthy Las Vegas real estate executive accused of a deadly drunk driving crash are asking a judge to toss out the case. Scott Gragson's legal team says that there are several reasons why.
13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears has the new details of a recently filed petition.
4, 5, 6. Oh, I just killed it.
Scott Gragson, in his own words on a police body-worn camera, admitting he's failing a field sobriety test. A quiet, tree-lined road inside an exclusive neighborhood quickly became a gruesome crash scene, then a crime scene. Now, Gragson's attorneys want the case dismissed. One reason, Metro failed to get a blood draw within 2 hours after police arrived. Defense attorney Chip Siegel says while that makes the case more difficult for the state, it's not grounds for dismissal.
That does not mean that just because they got a blood sample outside of 2 hours, that the blood is not going to be introduced into evidence. It is. It's going to certainly be used to try and prove what the person was at the time of driving. And my guess is the state's going to try and argue it demonstrates that the person was under the influence.
Gragson's lawyers also argue he was never read his Miranda rights. Siegel says in DUI cases, Miranda rights are required when officers ask questions like, how many drinks did you have?
Those questions, which are designed to elicit an answer, Miranda situation. Officers' observations about what he looked like, how he performed on some tests, his behavior, that's not Miranda. It doesn't matter.
Attorneys close to the case tell us it's common in DUI cases for suspects to admit guilt before rights are read, but the cases are rarely, if ever, dismissed. According to the court documents, Gragson's lawyers are also taking issue with UMC staff using an alcohol wipe instead of iodine when taking Gragson's blood, claiming that could create a false positive. Siegel says that will probably be argued at trial, but it's something that's not likely to overturn the case. In fact, Siegel says it's very rare cases are ever tossed out at this stage because the burden of proof is so low.
The judge will make a decision as to whether there was probable cause. That's really what it is for a grand jury, whether there's probable cause to believe that probably a crime was committed and probably he's the one to commit it.
Attorneys for the crash victims told us they see this as a desperate attempt to minimize the charges against Gragson. They say his defense attorneys are paid to poke holes in the state's case, but they doubt the claims will gain any traction in court. They say that mounting a technicality argument and not acknowledging fault is a slap in the face to the victims. Darcy Spears, 13 Investigates.